I've gone back and forth about sharing this, and it's not because I'm afraid to, but because there's no way to really put something like this into words that truly do it justice. But I know that there's people out there who need to hear this, and maybe, just maybe, that person is you. I want to talk about something that shattered my world. The most soul-crushing, altering life event. Something that changed me for forever. I was 8 months pregnant when I found out that my daughter, Cora, wouldn't be coming home with us. And my partner and I had been waiting for her, and we had been dreaming of her and counting down the days until we could just hold her in our arms. She was already a part of us. She was already so loved. And then in an instant, everything changed for my entire family. I delivered her, and she was our little sleeping beauty. We held her and we kissed her tiny fingers, and we memorized every single feature on her perfect little face. But as the hours passed, her body started to get cold, and that's when reality really hit for me. I can tell you that there's no way to describe the feeling of being wheeled out of a hospital with empty arms, of getting into the car and just letting out a sound that's so raw and so primal that only a parent who has lost a child could understand. Just this piercing scream. I remember this moment so clearly because it wasn't just grief. It was like this feeling of my entire reality just being ripped apart. And then life kept moving. And I had to come home, and I had to somehow function. And I had to still be a mother to my daughter, who was only 5 years old at the time. And she had just lost her baby sister, one that she had been begging for and waiting for and dreaming of. And I found myself just drowning in this fog of grief. Like it swallowed me whole. And I could feel myself just slipping deeper and deeper into this place that I wasn't entirely sure if I was going to come back from. And then I had to make a choice. I can tell you this. For me, grief is an ocean, and you don't just swim through it and just like come out on the other side. Some days the waves pull me under, and other days I can breathe just a little easier, but the water is always there. And I had to decide, was I going to let this pain consume me? Would I let it destroy me? Or would I find a way to carry it and just keep on moving forward? I remember I started noticing all these little things. The warm sunlight on my skin, and the pink sunsets, and the perfectly timed rainbows. And I'd like to believe that they were signs from her. I wanted answers, and I wanted to know why. But the truth is that sometimes there's no answers. And sometimes things just happen. And we're left to pick up the pieces. I went to therapy. I saw a grief therapist. I saw my normal therapist. And I sat with my pain. And one day I realized that life, it doesn't wait for us to be ready. It just keeps on moving. And ultimately, it was up to me to decide how I was going to move with it. I know that I'm not the only one who's experienced this kind of loss. And some have been trying for years. And some have suffered miscarriage after miscarriage. And some have never even had the chance to hold a child of their own. And if that is you, if you're watching this and you feel that ache in your chest, I just want you to know that I see you. And I know how heavy that pain is. But I also know this. There is still so much beauty in this world, even after loss, even after heartbreak. And being a mother is the most incredible gift. And I don't take a single moment for granted, because I now know more than ever that just each moment is so precious. I still have days where I break down, and days where this grief just sneaks up on me and knocks the air out of my lungs. But I also have days where I feel joy and I smile when I thought I could never smile again. And that's the thing about loss. Like, it does not erase love, okay? And it doesn't erase happiness. It simply just becomes a part of you. And if there's one thing that I want you to take away from this, it's that you do have a choice. Even in the darkest moments, you have the power to decide how you're going to move forward throughout the rest of your life. This experience ultimately could have just absolutely destroyed me, like decimated my life. And for a while, it almost did. But I chose something else. I chose to keep going, and I chose to find meaning. And I chose to believe that even in the worst part of pain, there's still something worth holding on to. That's the reality. So I don't share this because I want pity. I share it because I know that there's someone out there who needs to hear it. And maybe you've been through something painful, or maybe you've lost something or someone. Maybe you just feel stuck in your own grief, or your own failure, or your own self-doubt. But you have a choice. You have a choice too. And for me, that's what this channel is all about. So tell me, what is one moment in your life that just absolutely changed everything for you? And how did you choose to move forward? And remember, if you're currently experiencing a life-altering, soul-crushing, debilitating event in your life, you will get through this. And I think that there's more people out there than would like to admit that have been there in a position like this. But ultimately, life is in your hands. And you can either choose to be a victim or choose to write the rest of your story. And it's okay if you need help. Okay, there's no reason to feel shame or guilt. Truthfully, most of us don't have the tools or the resources or the proper support in general. And that makes it really, really fucking hard. But a lot of it comes from within us and our mindset and the way that we perceive things. So hopefully my story will make you realize that we are not alone. You are not alone. So let's grow together. And if this resonated with you, or if you've been through something similar, please drop a comment, share your story, or just let me know that you're here, because this space that I've created is for real conversations and for healing and for growth, and you are not alone. See you in the next vid. So thank you for listening to my story, and I want you to know I'm here for you, and there's a lot more of us who just want to be seen and heard. That's what this space is all about. Can't wait for you to hear what's to come next. Thanks for listening.